is the Glass Cannon Network.
Welcome back. It's Friday night. It's time for chaos. I'm pretty fired up about jumping into tonight's sesh after last week's humdinger. But I have a couple options for pre-show bant that I'm going to let you, the players, choose from. They're basic. I'm going to give you the basic subjects, and then you can then pick, and then we'll talk about it. The first subject is the fuck was the first one? Hobbies? We'll say hobbies. Something to do with hobbies. It's I have a very specific thing in mind for each of these hobbies. Bachelor parties or bachelorette parties for the second one, and then the third one is one that is probably will be boring. Is just going to be me ranting. Though I'm sure everyone can contribute. General contractors. Once again, that's hobbies, bachelorette parties, or general contractors.
I mean, how do we
went
choose?
From very vague to very specific.
Very specific. Oddly, it has general in the title. What jumped out at you amongst those three scintillating topics?
Well, I mean, I feel like the most salacious is going to be the bachelor or bachelorette parties. But again, I don't know the specific question underneath that umbrella topic.
It's good. I think they're all good, so you can't go wrong with that one. Well, what do you think, Kate?
I feel like I would have limited stuff to contribute to general contractors, as I've never owned a home and don't need to do any of that, really.
Fair enough.
But I'll listen to you rant. I love listening to people rant.
Okay, I can always call you after the show and let you know.
Right.
It's just me being angry. Russ, which one of those really struck you?
Is this us coming to a quorum to discuss, to find the one that we're all going to go in on? I like Kate. I think I could really only weigh in on hobbies because I've never been in a bachelor or bachelorette party, and I have limited experience with general contractors.
Okay. All right, so hobbies is kind of running away here. Noura, are you going to be the tiebreaker? Actually, there's no tiebreaker. You're going to just make things complicated.
I'm going to make things complicated because, like Ross, I could probably only contribute to hobbies, but I kind of want to hear you bitch about contractors.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, you might get a little bit of all three then. Let me start. Fuck it. We'll just go with all of them. Let me start with what I was going to talk about for bachelor parties. So my friend, it's probably my last friend that is going to get married. So it's the last bachelor party that I'll be a part of, unless my brother gets married. But it doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon. So his best man sends out a survey, and the 5 options are the following: Vegas, Montreal, Myrtle Beach, Atlantic City, and Fort Lauderdale. Oh. And mind you, this is for mid-September.
Did he do that on purpose so that everybody would pick Vegas?
Well, I wonder because I bet you there's people like, I don't want to fly. Because the other thing it said, what's your preference? So
what's the age range here? Are they all
I have
kind of
no
like
idea.
early 40 dudes? Or
I know it probably 40s, and not everybody knows each other, so it would just be, that's my nightmare. Like, I hate that. And so that's the good thing about a Vegas is that you can just go hit the craps table. You don't have to talk to anybody. But I clicked all of them except Myrtle Beach, because Myrtle Beach is just, it's fine. But like, you don't want to go there in mid-September.
Why click Fort Lauderdale but not Myrtle Beach?
I that's a good question. I initially unclicked Fort Lauderdale, and then I re-clicked it because I'm like, you know what? I don't like Florida, but I'll give it another shot. I figure the weather is probably nice mid-September. But yeah, no, in retrospect, that was probably a dumb one too. All right, so let's throw out Fort Lauderdale. I'm not going to pass up a trip to Vegas. Montreal is awesome, but at the end of the day, I'd like to do Atlantic City because I can just drive there in 3.5 hours.
It's also,
really
it feels classy. Feels
it
like
does.
Old, like old.
It's old. It's just old.
But it could be cool. in that way. Like
Which one would you go for, Kate?
Probably I'm leaning towards Montreal just because like the wild card of not knowing who you're with. I don't know if I want to go to Vegas with those people. Like it could get really weird if one of them just is like off the walls and is like, I don't know, brings other fun things with them or like.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem with Montreal. I think Montreal is like very strip club oriented, and that's not my jam. And
I've
so
never
like,
been there, so I was like, oh, a new thing, and it might
Yeah.
be cute, like it's French or something. I don't know.
I think that's the big draw of Montreal. I could be wrong. Maybe my buddy's not a big strip club guy. I wouldn't put past him. But like when you do that, and then there's one group of people that's like, all right, you guys have fun, and then you look like the loser friend that doesn't want to go to the strip club. I'm like, well, that doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather just go eat some poutine somewhere. So maybe I should unclick Montreal now that I think about it. Just Vegas or Atlantic City. Anybody have any qualms with this? Ross?
Yes.
You're noticeably quiet here. Someone without any bachelor or bachelorette
Well, I can
party
weigh in
experience.
at least on I was just in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. It was a pretty good time. Saw David Copperfield. A really quite the experience. Can very much recommend. But I also have experience. I went to Montreal years and years ago, and it's one of the coolest cities I've ever been to. Highly recommended. Very cool scene. And was there doing shows, and can confirm that the place we were performing was surrounded on, it seemed, every side by a strip club.
Yeah, I would never have guessed.
Yeah. I
Portland's
think
like
it's got
that.
a very
Portland.
famous strip club.
here's the thing, though. I don't see how the Atlantic City and Vegas options also not going to be strip club oriented.
Well,
Like,
you know what
why
it is? There's other things to do,
We only
right?
like
You guys
watching
go to the
the
strip
French
club?
with.
You going to the Spearmint Rhino, the big one in Vegas? Great, have fun. I'm gonna go just lose a ton of money, having way more fun.
And in both Vegas and Montreal, you can go experience the joy, the magic, and wonder of Cirque du Soleil.
This is true. I mean, Vegas is. I love Vegas, but you got to kind of limit your time there. Whereas Atlantic
Vegas
City
is played out. Do Atlantic
Drive-
City. That's
yeah,
the
I feel
move.
like Atlantic City's the choice. Noura, last thoughts.
I love Vegas. I think I've always had fun there, and it's, to me, like Kate, you said like, oh, that would be stressful because if you're herding kittens, a bunch of drunk kittens. I had the opposite like reaction where I was like, wow, if I was not feeling the vibe, I could so easily just fuck off somewhere.
Sounds
And then
perfect.
just be like, you know what, I got really tired while I like went to go see a different show or something.
Yeah, maybe I should really push for Vegas now, you guys, or Atlantic City. You can't go wrong with either of those. You're gonna lose money no matter what. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody thinks they're a good time. Like I had the best bachelor party. It was the best 3 days of my life. We just went and watched 3 Red Sox games in a row at Fenway Park with my buddies. And it was just like new buddies came every day. We had 20 guys at Fenway. It was an amazing time. But other people's parties, I don't like things that other people organize. I think that's just a very me trait. But if I'm not organizing it, I'm really not that interested.
You organize your own bachelor party?
I had to. My best man was very good at it, but he also knows me. He's like, the way you're going to enjoy this most is if you look over every single aspect of it. I said, thank you. You're a true best man.
I've never been to a bachelorette party. I've always
been
had
to a bachelorette party.
I've always had I've always been like off somewhere on vacation or like traveling or in school or something, and I couldn't go for whatever reason.
We got to send you and Ross some penis straws. It's a good time.
If you haven't used a penis straw, you ain't living.
Yeah, God.
Until you
I just
had a
You know?
smoothie out of a penis straw.
I was just thinking, what's missing in my life? And
definitely that. It's big,
Chaotic party with
inflatable
strangers. Like
wiener. Yeah.
Yeah, they're overrated. Unless you really like your friends and their friends, then it's a good time. But nobody likes that. Nobody really likes that.
Yeah, the worst ones are where like the cliques sort of happen.
Oh,
where
yeah.
people splinter off into different groups. You need to you got to be that center of the wheel. You know, the spokes coming off of you, and you be able to that's you gotta have friends that interact with each other.
I mean, I have to say this, like coming from somebody who has spent a lot of time working in like sketch comedy clubs, just the words bachelor or bachelorette party send an ice water chill down my spine.
If you can't identify the Zach Galifianakis of your group, you are the Zach Galifianakis of your
That's very
group.
true.
And they're going to shout things out to help the show.
Oh God, that was brutal. Yeah, I mean, comedy clubs, sketch clubs, the bachelor party. That's the
Also,
word that I want you to work with.
I mean, that's an indictment on the bachelor or bachelorette party organizer. If one of the things on the itinerary is to go to a fucking sketch show.
I was
improv
always
show.
baffled. It's like you planned this for your friends who clearly is not connected to this, and you came to a 11:30 p.m. long form improv show.
The Late Show. Yeah. Oh God.
All the only suggestions are strip club and penis straws.
penis straw. I need a place. Penis straws. That's not.
Not a place.
Not a place.
Stairway to Heaven. No.
Place
In suggestion of a non-geographic
It
location.
sounds like you've all been
Caitlin.
to awful bachelor or bachelorette parties.
Have you been to the greatest ones of all time? Did you have one?
I had one, and then I also planned one for my best friend.
Oh.
So that's two.
Spill the tea.
My bachelorette party was crazy.
My God.
I got all of us into a Mini Cooper, and we drove to Six Flags.
Were there three of you?
I think there was me, and it was four other people.
Wow.
I don't quite remember.
And you went to Six Flags?
We went to Six Flags. We were broke. Like I was 24. I was selling tacos and like walking dogs. And like Michael was in school to be a teacher and like teaching also like on the side. Like you can teach while you're learning to be a teacher in New York. It's like weird. So we were broke. So we went to Six Flags. My best friend's mom, who was one of my bridesmaids, got us like free tickets from her job or something. So I rented a Zip car. We went there. We came back. We went to the bar that we always go to in the neighborhood. Stayed there probably till 4 a.m.
Sounds like a great time.
That was it.
That sounds like a great time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wholesome.
mostly
I
a
love theme
regular
parks.
ass day.
See, I think most people, they overdo it. That's perfect. Guys, call
overdid
in
it.
with your bachelor party ideas.
We overdid it with my friends, but it was really, really good.
Well, you have to overdo it, right? Last night of being single.
Oh my God.
So I went to one in Vegas, one of many, and we ended up at a pool party that was being DJ'd by Skrillex.
What?
Because it was Electric Daisy Fuckable or whatever.
Electric Daisy Carnival.
Yeah, that was happening. We were not there for that. That was just random. So then it was like, I don't know, we could get tickets to this hotel that has a rooftop pool. And we're like, all right. We got in there and like Skrillex was playing and everyone's in the pool and it was not our scene. And for many reasons, this one little guy who kind of looked like a Muppet like floated past us on an inner tube and just went cocaine and ketamine and like floated past us. And then like 30 minutes later, he's making out with this like incredibly attractive woman. And we're like, what's going on? And we had to like we were stealing other people's towels because that was like extra money to get a towel in the pool. But the best part of it / dumbest was there was like this black small disc was like floating in the pool. And some of my buddies were like, check it out, man. Yeah. And they grabbed it because they thought it was like a pill box. Like they were excited about potentially taking unknown pills.
Strange pills.
Just like, it's a bachelor party. Let's take these weird pills. And we got back to the hotel room and they keep trying to like crack it open and it won't open. Right. And they're sitting there like, I can't get it, and they can't get it. I have some cool friends. And I was watching this and somebody else who walks in who had not seen it yet just looks at it and he goes, that's a fucking ear gauge. And they grabbed somebody's fucking giant ear gauge, fell out of their floppy ear.
Oh, God.
Floated in a pool, and then my idiot friends thought it would somehow get them high.
Oh my God.
So
That's fantastic.
That's the beauty of the bachelor
The
party.
bachelorette party that we planned, one of the nights we ended up at a rave. So that would have been fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a free idea for whoever can invent the combination ear gauge and pool pill caddy.
Yeah, you need something?
It's an ear gauge. It's a pill caddy. It's both. Well, yeah. Well, I'll let you. I'll keep you posted. I think this will be an ongoing story. I'm going to update you. I imagine none of these people are going to watch these streams as I give you the real straight dope on what
please.
I liked and didn't like. But God, I feel like I don't want to do this. This sounds awful. It'll be fun. Maybe not. I'm not going to Myrtle Beach in fucking middle of September. I'll tell you that much. But now we don't have time to talk about hobbies and general contractors because we have to play Call of Cthulhu. But you know what? Before we play, let's do a giveaway. Or we're going to start a giveaway. I teased last week that Chaosium sent me all these amazing things. The new Masks of Nyarlathotep special edition box set. And this bad boy right here, Cults of Cthulhu, which it's beautiful. And I joked that I'm keeping it. Well, I am, but they sent us more. So we're going to give one of these away tonight. If you're watching, Brennan, our main man Brennan, is going to throw up a link in the chat. When that goes in, you can enter. And then I think you have to be watching the stream when we give it away. We should make that the rule. So you can't just enter and then go fuck off for the rest of the night. You got to watch the whole stream. And if you don't, then we'll give it to somebody else. And then we'll email you to let you know you should have watched the stream. Anyways, Cults of Cthulhu, beautiful. This is their newest book they just released, and there's adventures at the end as well. And current players are not eligible. Noura, I'm so sorry. You won't be able to enter. Guys.
But I want it.
Girls, ladies, gentlemen, we are going to play some Masks of Nyarlathotep tonight. Last week, man, quick recap. I can't say too much in the recap because I want to hear what you glommed onto. If I start giving you information, I'm just kind of leading you along. Not interested in doing that. Let's go to Roll20 real quick because I think the best way that I can recap how the episode started is by showing you a photo that I didn't show you yet. I was doing some prep today and I came across this photo and I was like, oh my God, I was so hyped to show the photo of the fire escape that I never even thought about this one. But this is the murder scene. Here it is. Boom.
Murder.
Look at that.
Oh, God damn it.
That is what it basically looked like. You walked into room 410 after reconvening in New York City. You walk in, Jackson Elias lying on the floor, stomach ripped open. The way I described it is more accurate than what you're seeing here. This is just one artist's rendition. Intestines should be everywhere, but you see also a mark carved on his forehead. And then these dudes with these headbands, with these long, flappy red felt things. They've got their knives. The guy in the back who's climbing out the window, his knife is a little more appropriate, more machete-ish. And there were three of these dudes. They got away. A chase took place. Vaughn jumped out the window, almost died. I was reading online, some people thought I should have been harsher on you. I'm like, but he rolled.
You would have been well within your rights.
I know, you would have been just dead zony. But no, I think that was heroic and crazy, and certainly first episode of this new section, you could have died, but you survived. Unfortunately, what you can only assume were Jackson Elias's murderers. They got away. You come back upstairs and you're just searching the room trying to find things. I'll tell you what you found, things that jumped out. This symbol carved on his forehead. All of this is in your little sidebar here on Roll20. But this horrible symbol that looks very purposeful. You find a letter from a woman named Miriam Atwright, I believe. I have no less than 3,000 handouts here that I can see that you guys can't see. So it's a real treat going through them. Letter from Miriam Atwright to Jackson Elias, care of Prospero House Publishers, talking about a book that he was looking for. You find a letter from an M. Warren Bassart to Mr. Carlyle, perhaps Roger Carlyle of the Carlyle Expedition, talking about friends, inquiries in the old court identified one Faraz Najjar in the Street of Jackals, who claims to be in possession of singular curios, which he believes will be of great interest to you. So you know that Jackson was investigating the fate of the Carlisle expedition. Well, here's a letter that was to Roger Carlisle. But then the cops come and you guys just leave a murder scene. Run away, covered in blood. Vaughn is just all scuffed up from falling out the window. Feyru is covered in blood. All of you, just a mess. You sneak out of there into the night. And you all
I'm covered in Vaughn's blood.
Covered in Vaughn's blood. You reconvene at the Waldorf Astoria. Vaughn is graciously putting all of you up in his beautiful room. You order some bootleg gin and some shrimp cocktail, the works, and you start digging into what should we do next? Who should we talk to? You wake up the next morning to the sound of a thud on the door. It's the New York Times, and there is a article about Jackson's death, and that it's similar to other deaths that happened, other murders that happened over the past couple years, but someone was convicted of those murders. A lot of different options. Tell me what's going through your head here. This is the beauty of Call of Cthulhu. Now you've got like a lot of options, and as you start to dig into this more, you're only going to find more and more options. And some of them are going to be dead ends. Some of them may seem like dead ends. You got to go back later. Lot going on. What do you want to do?
From what I remember, I'm sorry, it was the person that was convicted. Were they in an asylum?
They were in Sing Sing prison.
In Sing Sing.
Yeah, which is still here to this day. It's about 20 minutes from my home in Ossining, New York. Sing Sing prison. And yes, the man that was arrested for these murders goes by the name of Hilton Adams. Convicted of the Harlem murders in October last and is awaiting execution in Sing Sing. Lieutenant Poole offered no opinion whether this new murder indicates that Adams had accomplices or is innocent of the earlier crimes. Now, because you were eavesdropping when the cops showed up, you saw a plainclothes detective show up after the cops, the uniformed policemen were kind of clearing the scene, and you overheard them refer to him as Lieutenant Poole or Detective Poole. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very strange.
So it doesn't say in the article, I don't think we know when that person will be taken off death row. But
is that what they call it?
Taken off death row.
When you say taken off, you mean taken off or
murdered?
There's been another murder. You're free, sir.
Oh, God.
Clearly you weren't the
Take
culprit.
him off with this chair that's plugged into this wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you mean by taken off?
Come on.
Killed. Yeah.
Killed. Yeah. No, it's not clear. It just says soon.
Because it sounds like we have 3 different places to go. Because if there were 2 things to do, we could split off doubles, and that's kind of comfortable. But there's that. There's the funeral. And
the funeral's tomorrow. Right now it's Friday, January 16th, but the funeral is going to take place tomorrow morning in Brooklyn, I believe at the Cypress Cemetery. I'll find that for you, but I would assume you would all want to attend that, but you tell me if you don't want to. Your dance card is filling up. But yeah, you've got all of Friday to just enjoy the city and start investigating this horrible murder.
So lay it out, Kate. It's the prison,
the funeral, and going to Harvard. But maybe the funeral's not going to take all day, and we can split up after that.
Yeah, and it's not even. I don't think it's even Harvard, right? It's somebody. The publishing house is in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, it was sent to Jackson Elias care of a publishing house here in New York from a woman that works at Harvard in Boston.
Oh, okay. So we'd have to. You
could go there, or you could call.
Yeah.
You could call and see if
ring a ding.
Yeah, I think Vaughn wanted to give that woman a buzz.
There's also Noura. Didn't you get some car info?
Yes, I was just about to ask. As they were getting away, I noticed that they were in a black Hudson touring roadster with the first few letters of the license plate NYL. Was it?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I got.
How common was this car at the time?
Oh, that's a good question.
Would it stand out if we or would it just blend in with like? Is it the Honda Civic of
It's
Or is it
my
the
understanding that it's a pretty nice car, pretty sweet car. I mean, this is information that the police would love to have, because then they could kind of trace the vehicle. But yeah, it's almost useless in your hands. But
although there is a detective pool.
Yes.
Or is there a Department of Motor Vehicles that we could try to
You want to sweet talk the
DMV clerk?
front
maybe
desk person?
make a tinfoil badge and go talk to them?
You know, it's funny. At this point, I have to like start Googling like DMV. When did
No,
it
you
start?
don't. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
There was a commissioner of the DMV in 1924, so it reasons there. Yes, there's a DMV. You can
It could be brand new. That could be a whole little flavor we add to it. As no one knows what the hell they're doing.
Well, I got yelled at last week for saying that there was a TV. You could hear the TV in the room. No, you couldn't. It was the radio.
Look, if there's one thing I want in
Just
my
sounded like a
role-playing
TV.
game about a fucking squid monster with dragon wings, it's reality.
It's historical accuracy.
It's the little
Without the
things.
verisimilitude, the fantasy doesn't matter.
Well, you know what? I think this is why a lot of people are afraid of playing Call of Cthulhu, because they're afraid of fucking it up. I know Joe from the network, he was at first, he's like, I don't want to play. I don't know anything about the 1920s. I'm like, who cares? Well, there's a lot of people that care.
Make a graphic that whenever we fuck something up, it's like a stamp that reads alt history or something like that just comes in.
Yeah, it is funny to take to get angry at. There's no TVs. Where's the next monster?
Where's the next monster?
Yeah, 1924, there was a commissioner in the DMV. Let's say there is a DMV, but if the first commissioner was 1924, it's probably a very small office. They're just getting started.
They don't know what's going on. They don't know.
The easier to sneak into.
Exactly.
I
My
always
job
say.
is to just be like, yeah, it sounds cool. Let's do it.
Well, because we can't contact Lieutenant Poole without kind of admitting that, like, we were there.
We're newlyweds on our way.
Witnesses, right?
He's seen
It's capital.
many of us. Yeah.
We're crime-solving newlyweds.
Now, there's an angle. Yeah.
Have you seen Macmillan and Wife?
Well, so it sounds like the 16th, the morning that we wake up, that we're all hungover and food comaed, we can do one of the two things or both of the other two things that aren't going to the funeral.
Yeah, got some options. And make sure you see the Statue of Liberty.
Yes, the Statue of Liberty. I must see it.
You don't want to come to New York and not see the Statue
You
of Liberty.
can.
Obviously. Let's role-play that.
Let's see
We'll
if
get
any
you
of
a
you
snow
were
globe.
allergic to that shrimp cocktail by doing a luck improvement roll for the show this week. We could probably roll
That
these
is, if that's what my character dies of,
Yep, I'm
be
sorry.
I'm going to come back with the most obnoxious character.
Was it like encephalactic shock? Why'd you give me that?
Did they have EpiPens? I don't think they did have EpiPens.
So you
You
have to get
just
over.
died.
Alt history.
Alt history.
All right.
You get over the luck, and then you get to
Oh,
roll.
heyo.
want-
Yes.
Yeah, you want to fail this.
Okay.
And then you get
Yeah.
a D10.
I failed indeed.
For the love of fuck.
I got a 1.
Oh, no. You lose 30 luck. Don't get a
That's all. That's
Die.
literally what I have right now.
Shellfish poisoning.
I gained 4 points of luck.
Oh, nice. My wife just forwarded me tickets for this year's Polar Express in Whippany, New Jersey. We went last year, and let me tell you, it is a treat. If
Existential
you love Christmas,
horror.
make sure you ride the Polar Express.
Right. you
From
love
Atlantic
Christmas.
City to the Polar Express, enjoy beautiful New Jersey.
Beautiful Whippany, New Jersey.
Just imagine if the movie had been in live action and actually watchable. That would have been amazing. Instead of the Uncanny Valley.
What are you talking about? There was an elf Aerosmith playing up there.
How dare you, Robert Kerkovich?
I just remember trying to watch it on a plane. On a plane.
Well, that
when
was your first mistake.
everything goes on a plane. Because you're too scared about dying. And he couldn't cut it.
What do you jackaloons want to do?
Well, Vaughn is shaking off because I did not do so good on that luck roll, so I think just like the head is pounding, which makes sense. He drinks too much, and is kind of getting himself out of bed, like asking, buzzing down. It's like, bring up a block of ice. There's a good boy. And he's like cramming it into a towel and like putting a water bottle on his head and like staggering around the room in a robe, but wants to call this Miriam Atwright character to learn more about this book that Jackson was after.
Okay. I would imagine that you, especially at a nice hotel like this, you could phone down to the concierge and get the phone number that you need to contact Miriam Atwright. Let's see what you know here on the letter. It just says, Miriam Atwright, Harvard University Library. So you get a number for a Harvard University Library. Call, you ask to speak with Miriam Atwright, you're put on hold, you're given another number to call, you call, and it's someone picks up and says, hello, you've reached the Widener Library at Harvard University.
Yes, excellent. A devil of a time. I'm getting someone. Thank you so much for picking up. Looking for a Ms. Atwright, if you'd be so kind. I believe she's on the staff there.
Yes, and may I ask who's calling?
This is Vaughn Villiers, a friend of a Mr. Jackson Elias, a friend of hers, author, one of the hacks around Prospero House Publishers. I'm sure you know the type.
All right, hold on one moment. Let me see if Miss Atwright's here.
Carter walks up behind Vaughn with a Bloody Mary and wearing one of Vaughn's robes. And it's just like, God damn. Who are you talking to?
He's on the phone with the lady.
Are we all...
Trying to get the lady from the letter.
Is there speakerphone? Put it on speaker.
We all
There's no
huddle around.
No, sir.
Fairuz also has a drink in her hand. She like clinks with with Carter, and she's like, "What Vaughn hasn't learned is that the way to beat a hangover is to keep drinking."
Yes, exactly. Are you an amateur? What the fuck?
Hello. This is Miriam Atwright. I was told you're a friend of Jackson Elias's. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was?
The name is Villiers, madam. Vaughn Villiers.
How may I help you, Mr. Villiers?
Well, am I to be given to understand that you're also a friend and acquaintance of Mr. Elias?
I would say perhaps an acquaintance. I was a great admirer of his work. I'm often told I have a bit of a ghoulish sense of humor, and his often irreverent approach to research and whatnot tickled me. We never met in person, but we've corresponded over the years. He's always busy looking for his next subject, and so I tried to help him as best I could. What is this regarding?
Tell her that he's dead. Tell her that he's dead.
Well, first,
He's dead.
thank you, Tillinghast. First, Miss Atwright, I'm afraid, as a dear friend, Mr. Elias, I must be the bearer of some bad news. I'm afraid that our mutual friend has met with a rather terrible accident. It's best not to pad information such as this with too much flowery language, so allow me to be blunt. The man is dead, madam.
There's a long pause. Dead?
Should have led with the book.
Dead?
I can't.
How?
Both of you.
Dead? Well, I don't understand. How did he die?
Don't tell that part. Don't talk about the guts.
It's just what I've heard, madam. Of course, it's what you read in the papers. It's that I believe now is a matter for the police, the coroner, and Mr. Elias's close family. But insomuch as
This
Mr.
is just awful.
Yes.
I don't know what to think. He was always so kind, and we'd always spoke about meeting at some point, either when I was going to come to New York or if he came up to Boston. Oh, that is, and you were a friend of his.
Yes, insomuch as Mr. Elias can be said to have a close personal family, I suppose I was a part of his professional family, and in his research that took him far and abroad, I was fortunate enough to accompany him on one of his expeditions.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry for your loss.
And yours, I assure you.
Well, I never met him in person, but it's just tragic, and I'm.
Well, as a woman of letters, I dare say that you must know that while the flesh may perish, we may in a way live on. That while man are doomed to shuffle off this mortal coil, books are immortal, are they not? And as it turns out, our friend Mr. Elias was in the midst of working on such a tome that, if it is to reach publication, may make his name as immortal as any that shines now in our literary firmament. And I, being his humble amanuensis and secretary, am hoping that I may receive some of the information that he was begging of you, that I might complete his great work, you understand.
Favors grabs a notebook.
This is good shit, Vaughn. This is good shit.
Yes.
God, my head.
Yeah, well, this...
Carter gives him a sip of the Bloody Mary.
Pass me that over here, won't you, Chillinghouse? There's a good chap. He's like putting the nozzle to my chest.
Fucking alcoholics on parade.
Yeah, well, yes, no, you are quite the wordsmith, Mr. Villiers, was it?
Yes.
Well, anything I can provide, any information, I would be happy to. I can tell you this.
You're too kind.
The last time I spoke with Mr. Elias was, what is it now, January? It was about 2 months ago. He asked me to track down a copy of a book called, this is quite a story. He asked me to track down a copy of a book called Africa's Dark Sext. And
I'm sorry, could you pronounce that last word?
Africa's Dark Sex.
Yes.
S-E-C-T-S. It's a very, very difficult word to say, to get that C and the T in there.
Yes.
Secatissa. Africa's Dark Secatissa.
Yes, of
What
course.
didn't you understand, Mr. Villiers?
Oh, nothing. Only to say that I'll take my sects, no matter what shade they are. But to move on.
Yes.
No
Secatissa in the champagne room, so they say. Anyways, he asked me to track down this book, and I unfortunately had to tell him that this book mysteriously disappeared right here from the Widener Library at Harvard several months before he requested it. Now, I must tell you, I don't use the word mysteriously lightly either. One day the book, it simply vanished. It was the strangest thing. I had placed the book back on the shelf myself, not but a week earlier, after someone had checked it out, or it was just sitting in my desk and I knew where it went. But when he requested it, I looked, and it wasn't there, and there was no record of it ever being checked out either. Now, the African section, at least for this particular subject matter, that collection is not very large. So anyone who works here, we know it quite well. We walk by all the time, and it's an unmistakable book, and it was just simply not there one day. But the strangest thing, Mr. Villiers, is that there was this unmistakable odor in the collection the day that we noticed the book was missing.
Might I inquire as to the nature of the aroma of which you speak?
It was...
If you are groping for words, was it perhaps an aroma of decay? Of not to not to offend your delicate feminine sensibilities, but
No,
an
it
aroma
wasn't.
of rotting flesh.
To be honest, it wasn't even foul so much as memorable, but memorable in a way that we all remarked that we'd never quite smelled anything like that. It seemed to be something that had never approached our nostrils before. I'm sounding foolish recounting this story to you. Now that I tell it, I haven't, to be honest, thought of this in quite some time.
Oh, no. You shall find no judgment from me. Ms. That's right?
Yes.
Yes.
Miss.
No, indeed. There is, I find nothing foolish in the strange and unseen.
Yes, well, now I feel terrible that I couldn't fulfill one of Mr. Elias's last requests. I was always trying to help him in any way that I could. I'm sure I was just one of a number of librarians that was assisting him in his research.
Oh, I assure you, madam, he spoke of you many times.
Margot nudges Vaughn and is like, ask who had it last.
And you see him like, yes, oh, my bloody head.
Take another sip. Take another sip.
I realize that this may strain the limits of what you may call professional ethics in your particular line of work, but would you be so good as to tell me if you have a record who checked out Africa's dark sects just before its unfortunate disappearance?
Yes, I could certainly look into that and get back to you. I'll be honest, our system here is still, we just underwent a big change in how we've organized these things, so it's not close at hand, but I could absolutely find that information for you and any information that may be helpful.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Attright, I can tell that I am speaking to a fellow traveler in curiosity and sensitivity. Please, return your call at this number and leave any message of any information you find with the concierge of the Waldorf Astoria, New York, New York.
Oh, the Waldorf. Absolutely, I shall, Mr. Villiers. And if, for any reason, your travels ever take you to Cambridge, Massachusetts, be sure to stop by the Widener Library, and I would show you our whole collection.
Well, it was not a place that I had thought I might venture, but after a few minutes in your charming auditory company, perhaps I will find my way there. Good day to you, Miss Atra.
Ask her if she wants the only copy of The Adventures of Carter Tillinghast and His Pals. Right? It's a 1,700-page tome. Pulpy adventure. Tell her that. Just go see what.
Perhaps if we are to make a personal acquaintance, I can show you some other interesting texts of note that are in my possession. They're of a more retail publication variety.
She already on.
God damn it, Vaughn! God damn it! You had her on the line. You fucked it up. Fine. I'll hit up some other Ivy League school library. God damn it.
So, when's your first date?
Oh, come. Gentle ribbing, I see. No.
Vaughn, we had no idea that you were such a tomcat.
A ladies' man.
A Lothario.
Casanova.
You see him, his eyes darting around. I assure you, I've never been accused of being anything of the kind. Africa's Dark Sects. This is the publication that he was after. Mysteriously disappeared, strange aromas given out, and, well, if there's any more information, I'm sure we can trust Miss Attright to send it our way.
All right, good job, V.
And same to you, C, as I lean over to, suck the straw of your...
It's just right here.
Just straight. Just A1 steak sauce and vodka.
Yep.
Wait, was A1 around in 1925?
Art history.
Well,
Shall we get some breakfast and go to the prison? Sounds like a wonderful day.
Now that is a sentence I have never heard. Fräulein Sauer.
All right, well, we got the prison and we got this potential. Guys, I don't know if you know this. There's a Department of Motor Vehicles. It's in its nascent stages. We could try to find out who owns this car.
Yes, although I am having gripped onto this strange work, I must confess, now that my teeth are in it, I can't lose the taste. If there was a bookstore or a library of some kind here in this great city that might have a copy, maybe, just maybe, I could hunt it down.
We could try the library here.
Yes.
It's pretty big.
So,
Yeah, they do have a pretty good library in New York that you can.
It's got lions, big lions. That's all.
but of course, if this Department of Motor Vehicles gets us closer to those blackguards who did such
It is an unusual vehicle.
Going to the Department of Motor Vehicles sounds like it would be so fun. It's just, whoa, department full of motor vehicles and people there to tell you about them.
I bet
Must
it's
be a
novelty.
wonderful place to visit.
Just
Must be
one
lines
long-
out the door.
Just a
Yeah.
party.
Yes. What an incredible novelty. Who wouldn't wish to go to such place?
I'm wondering also, because she said that like that book was part of a collection, so like maybe other pieces of the collection copies could be at the library. I don't know if they would be helpful at all.
I took that to mean that that there was, just a section of the library's collection of African folklore books, but
I thought that the books were like all by the same publisher or like by
yeah.
maybe the same author.
We didn't
didn't even get the author's name.
We didn't get the author's name.
Oh, shit.
If you'd like to make a collect call,
That
run out
phone
of
call
money.
cost me $200.
If only I could just search things at will.
I wish I could
How's
type something
phone?
and have the answer presented to me.
Why won't my typewriter answer my questions?
Yeah.
I wish I could ask my typewriter my questions.
I want to talk into this phone. Siri, or whatever name could possibly exist.
Well, there is an operator.
Yes.
Ooh, maybe she knows. Or he.
Well-
I don't know what the sexual politics are of the operating world.
Yes, well,
Okay. I think we could easily find out the author. Just whatever, card catalog, whatever the hell.
yes.
yeah, getting
library,
information is so
prison,
much
DMV.
harder.
Sounds
Getting
like a fun
information
field
is
day.
so much more difficult in at this time period because you have to go to the library. You have to do the research on your own. There was something I was reading today. I'm trying to find. There was a great little box. They have all these little like side boxes where they tell you about like, oh, at the times, here's something you should know. How hard it is to find information about people because after the war they like cracked down on written reports about individuals to kind of limit the amount of information that was being stored about each individual person. So it was like I think it had something to do with like the freedom of the individual. After the war ended, they wanted to be like, well, let's not be making too many notes about everybody.
Cut to Facebook.
Complete opposite of the Patriot Act, basically.
To today.
So you pretty much have to, if you want to get information, you have to either do it the old school way, you got a cold call, or you got to go to the library. And I mean, there's pages and pages in here of like, do you want to go to the Columbia Library or the NYU Library or
Yes.
this library? So if this is your jam, I got
Wow.
library info for days.
Well, who wants to
Great.
go to the DMV? Who wants to go to the library?
Well, Fairuz would very much like to go to the library.
I would love to go to the DMV.
I'll go to the DMV with you.
Amazing.
All right,
Very well. It
Margot
seems
and
our teams
Carter.
Are we splitting the party?
Oh, no.
Split that party.
S the P. All right, so Margot and Carter are going to the DMV, and the newly created DMV that we're going to create, make up on the spot, and then Vaughn and Fairuz are going to the New York Public Library.
Not even in role-playing games do I want to go to the DMV.
I'm so excited. Now, Fairuz, just want to double check that the license plate, what you saw was, Jesus, NYL something?
Is it NY? I couldn't quite make out the rest of the plate.
Okay. All right.
But it did seem like a swanky car.
A 1915 Touareg Roadster?
Yes.
It was like NYL and a number. You had almost all of it. So you've got...
Yes, NYL dash.
I was a bit distracted by the headscarves flapping in the...
Yeah, and the
Like
murder.
a singular number, so that means there can only be 10 options. Or was it like a number, like a couple numbers?
It looked like a single number.
All right.
Just one, that was just one off.
Yeah, and Vaughn is like polishing off the remainder of Tillinghast's Bloody Mary, and is like, and lest we forget, I may want to at some point in the next couple of days seek some professional medical attention. It hurts to stand.
You look great. Everything's swelling more than the night after.
You notice his...
Nothing you can do for bruised ribs. You just have to let them heal on their own.
I heard that.
Yeah, walk it off, as my father always says.
Yes.
Also, keep in mind,
very well.
Vaughn, after you saw the thing that was carved into Jackson's head, it evoked a memory in you that you thought, like, with further research, you might be able to unlock more of the significance of this. So while you're at the library, you can roll on that as well.
Awesome.
All right, so you guys just crush a couple bloodies.
Yes.
High five, and then leave.
Carter sees one other shrimp left over. It's like 12 hours older. This is probably fine. Just eats it.
That's the 12.
Room temperature.
Room temperature shrimp.
It was boiled.
You'll live forever.
In what?
That's the mystery.
Fade up on the two lions standing outside of the New York Public Library. I assume that it's the same building, and I refuse to look and find if that's correct. So if it is, that'd be 5th Avenue and like 41st Street, New York City. Big ass library, big columns, Roman columns leading inside. Cut to the interior. We see Feiruz and Vaughn standing at the desk. There's a woman just like looking through files.
Excuse me.
God, you scared the shit out of me.
We're not the only ones in here.
Oh my God. I didn't know anyone was here. Yes, how can I help you?
Madam.
Well, we are... My friend and I have a title of a book that we're in search of, but having a hard time seeing as how we haven't found the author's name. But we're trying to find a copy of it if you can help us.
Yes.
Boy, you have the title?
Yes. So if you have a record of such a book in your catalogue, we're looking for a book by the title of Africa's Dark Sects.
Sects.
How do you spell that last word? What kind of people are you?
S-E-C-T-S.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see. All right, let me just take a look here at what we have. A list of all of our books. Africa's Dark Sects. Africa's Light Sects. Ah, yes, here it is. Africa's Dark Sects. It's written by a man named Nigel Blackwell. This is interesting. Published in January 1922, written in 1916 by Nigel Blackwell. This book was banned, actually, for obscenity, and almost all copies were destroyed. I don't know if we have a... I'm sorry, the notes here they're kind of scratched out and written over again. It's unclear. We probably did have copies of it at one time or another, but when the book was banned, we were forced to give them all up. It's unclear. Would you give me a moment, and I'll go check the stacks here, because if we do have it, it'll be in one section.
Of course, we'd be much obliged to you.
Yeah.
All right. Make yourselves comfortable. And she goes off.
Yes.
As she pulls Vaughn aside. I'm having a hard time believing that somebody who has such a passion for literature would just go ahead and burn a book, even if it was banned.
Yes.
Do you think there might be somewhere in this library that it still may exist?
Yes, of course. What happens to books if they're banned at a library? Do they pulp them on the spot? No. Must spirit them away somewhere.
Exactly.
She comes back a couple minutes later and she's like, it appears we do not have a copy of it. But if you're good with research, I'm sure you could find out some information about the book. I could direct you to a section that may help you, but I mean, there's just countless books there you'd have to dig through.
Sure.
Of course.
Do you have other
Books? Yes.
works by
It's a library.
other works by Mr. Nigel Blackwell?
Let me see here back in my book. I believe this was the only title by Blackwell. If only there was a way to search by author. This would make this so much easier. No, it appears with what limited information I have here, it appears that this was his only work. It may have been a collection of his journals, published posthumously. Yes, that's all the notes that the former door librarian kept.
Interesting.
That's what we're called.
We'll do the research you suggest, but out of curiosity, what does your august institution do with books that have been given the boot by the higher-ups? What happens when a book is banned here?
Something doesn't happen too often, although...
I didn't think that sort of thing happened in the land of the free, the brave, etc.
Well,
In this day and age?
The war changed everything. Forgive me for saying so, but I think you, of all people, would understand that. You look like a man that understands the effects of war, if you don't mind me saying.
Just so.
So perhaps people are a little more paranoid of information now than they were years ago.
Am I to understand that there was something seditious in these pages that would...
Well, one man's sedition is another man's treasure. That's a saying. Anywho, if the police come asking for a book, we hand it over. It's not like we throw them in the furnace downstairs, but they need to be destroyed one way or another. We just follow the rules. We're a public institution.
I wonder who is powerful enough to make such a complaint for so obscure a volume that it could be eradicated from a collection as thorough as your own.
Do you have any records of who or how it came about that this book became banned?
It's nothing here in my notes. No, it just says obscenity. But that could be anything. The more Puritan people would find things obscene that you and I would think commonplace. So it's difficult to say. Africa's dark sex. Perhaps he was exploring some rather profane things happening on the Dark Continent.
Perhaps they just didn't know the spelling of the title.
It could be. It could be a African Kama Sutra, in which case I understand why it was banned. But I'd like to take a look between you and me.
Well, you've been very helpful.
You're too kind, Mr. Mr.
He's asking you a name.
Villiers.
Is there a Mrs. Villiers?
There is not.
Yes, Von harsh glance at Ferrus, and is like, "No, I confess, I'm a confirmed bachelor."
Well, you've got what we call around here a librarian's tongue.
I confess that's a turn of... I'm learning all sorts of new turns of phrase today. Well, let me...
He would love to find out about that.
Yes,
Right.
well, let's cease putting my librarian's tongue to good use and perhaps pass my librarian's eye over the section in question, as he's becoming more and more tongue-tied. Yes, I bid you good day, Madam. Miss?
Yes, yes, miss. Enjoy our books. And she points you in the direction of her books. And we fade out of there. We fade up on a small office somewhere in lower Manhattan. We go inside, and there's just 3 people working in a cramped office. And Margot and Carter are just standing there waiting. And clearly, they've been waiting for no less than 90 minutes.
I just don't
There's
understand.
no one in line.
There's nobody here. They gave us a number. There's a ticket. There's a ticket flappy number. Now, Troy, time out for a second. Is there a way that we can say that as a con man, I used my criminal contacts as listed in the player's handbook to acquire a false badge?
A false badge.
Whoa.
Police badge.
All right, so you want to impersonate an officer?
That's right.
Just making sure I'm getting the terminology down.
Yeah.
When you say it like that.
I think it's easier back then. You know, you don't have to have a badge with, like, you don't have to have a thing with your face on it or anything. They didn't have laser printers.
Let's see what your disguise skill is.
Oh,
5.
shit. It is a 5.
But,
But it's not a disguise skill, it's a lying skill.
right, fast talk,
Oh, yeah.
also
Fast
5.
talk, charming,
We gotta get
I'm
that up. What's your charm? 75.
That's right.
So you're more charming than you are duplicitous. But then again, you could charm your way to a lie. I think
Yeah.
it's safe to say that you certainly were able to procure something through some contact here in New York, a friend of a friend.
Great.
Let's see how it does.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back, we're in this thing. We're in this shitty office.
Guy comes up.
I was just gonna say, I think this is the worst place I've ever been.
This is awful. This was not what I pictured at all. I thought there was going to be marble
I
columns.
thought it would be bigger.
Madam, no liquids. No liquids.
We have like
This is just a
open
Bloody Mary,
glass
sir. I don't
cups.
know
No
what...
liquids, please.
You're acting like it's prohibition right now.
No liquids in the waiting room.
No
We'll be with you in a
liquids.
moment. We'll be with you in a moment.
Is there a drinking fountain?
God, this place is... I feel like this is worse than the fat-sucking vampires. I feel like my soul is being...
Oppressive.
This is not representative of the United States of America. I want you to know this. This is not how we operate.
I don't know. I would rather be at the pyramid.
This is...
Stinky, sucking
I almost
vampires.
feel like my sanity is trembling.
This place is full of stinky, sucking vampires,
Jamaica.
sucking the life out of me.
Yes.
Jesus.
After another 45 minutes, someone
God
comes
damn,
up.
it's still going.
All right, number 44.
Yes, that's us. There's Jesus Christ.
How may I help you?
Hi, yes, my fine, non-specific gendered person.
I'm a gentleman. I'll have you know.
Hello, sir, my fine sir.
How can I help you?
Lieutenant Poole, NYPD. Sort of flash a badge.
Lieutenant Poole?
I'm here with my, well, I guess for lack of a better term, a German exchange student from the German police force. I know what you're thinking. In Germany, they let women be police officers.
That was my immediate thought.
Yeah, they're progressive in some ways, but I have a feeling they're going to be regressive in other ways as time goes on. Regardless, we are here. We are investigating a missing car. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the Department of Motor Vehicles, although obviously you guys have only been around for, I mean, as far as departments go, no New York Police Department, it's more of a, but you guys look like you're doing all right.
This office is 8 months old. How may I help you, Mr. Poole? Lieutenant
Yes,
Poole?
Lieutenant. It's Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we're looking for, to locate the owner of a 1915 Touareg Roadster. Now, I've got the partial plate. I don't know how many actual driver, what are they called? License plates you've got. It's such a new technology. NYL, and then the last number our eyewitness could not identify. So we're just looking to find that, and then also the owner of the car, because they are wanted in a murder investigation.
Murder investigation. Wow,
That's
this
right.
sounds very, very important, but you don't have that final number.
That's the problem is, eyewitnesses these days, it was snow, it's been unseasonably snowy here in New York.
It has been
this
very
year.
snowy. Give me a charm roll. He's kind of eyeing you like, wait a minute.
This guy's on his
German
hind fucking
exchange
horse. He's only
student
been
cop. Something isn't adding up here.
All
Do
right.
I also have to roll that?
No, because he did the talking.
Okay, good.
Don't worry, we're gonna need you in just a second.
Oh,
This
cool.
is a charm. I rolled a 43 under 75, so I think that's just regular.
Yeah, that's regular, borderline hard. So he's like, well, Lieutenant, it would be really helpful if you had that final number, but let me see what I have over here. And he goes back and he's like, what kind of car was it again?
It's a 1915 Touareg Roadster. Well, it's a very fancy car.
Okay. Kate, give me a luck roll for Margot.
Ooh. Okay.
This feels unnecessary.
What? Oh no.
No.
Okay. No. 96.
Oh, no.
My luck is 30.
96. You want to push that roll?
Pushing it does what again?
You get a second chance. You get a. Normally, you have
push
to
a luck
explain
roll?
what you're doing, but where this was just a general luck roll, I can eschew that. However, failure on a push roll usually means something bad happens.
This would be our first push of the.
It's true.
I will try. It's not good odds,
Do it.
but all right, here we go. Nope. 86.
That's also worse.
Oh, dear.
Sure.
86. So you
We got
see the
86.
guy's looking through some things, and every once in a while he looks up. The two of you.
How you doing?
Just 1 second. Walks to the back and leans over and talks to one of the other people in the office.
I lean to Vaughn and I'm like, maybe I should have waited outside.
No. They need to know that women can be cops at some point in history.
The other person looks up past the guy speaking with you at you both, smiles, and then leaves and goes into like a side office.
Okay.
And the guy's like, just 1 minute. Just need a couple more minutes here to.
This is
look
a
through.
murder investigation. I just want to press upon you the need for alacrity here.
Yeah, no, I
we gotta
understand.
move things along.
Lieutenant Poole. We're just taking a look at a couple things here.
Okay. I mean, there's other people dying as we speak. People are dying everywhere.
Okay.
And
You said it
you're
was a roadster, right?
Touareg Roadster.
Touareg roadster. Both of you give me a psychology roll.
Okay, come on. 49 under 50.
Ugh. 81 under 50.
Margot, you get the sense that he's stalling.
Oh, I might nudge Carter, maybe whisper that in his ear. I think he's stalling.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I could tell that too. This is
No,
clear.
you couldn't.
Yeah, no, I totally could.
No, you couldn't.
I know what you're talking about. Why do you think I could? Okay. Gonna have to get a little crazy here. Once I double check whatever stats I have that are
I
worth
think I'm
a damn.
going to go wait outside. It's just so stuffy in here, and
You're gonna bail on me?
I don't feel useful.
What are you talking about? You're giving me moral support.
Out. I'm not useful right here. I think I'm just suspicious that I'm here.
Okay. All right. Okay, Herr Detective. You want to go outside and look for any more murders that could be happening while we're sitting here? The thumbs up our asses? That sounds great.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Turn around and leave. Just go right out the door.
No, we'll be just a moment. He looks back at the door.
I don't understand.
For the other employee, just 1 second, please wait right there.
I go. Yes. And
Okay,
she
that's
keeps
fine. Yeah, I hope you
going.
guys are great. This is going to ruin relations between the United States and Germany. Okay, this is the worst it's ever going to be.
He says, "Oh, sorry," and then he goes into the side room as well.
Oh, God damn it. Is there anyone? Is there? So wait, 2 out of the 3 employees.
One other person typing nervously.
Do you trust? Yeah, do you trust those guys? Hey, Typey.
What?
What's the deal with those 2? Are they weird all the time?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen,
I'm just
I
typing.
feel like I can trust you. Where are the records for who owns what cars here?
I mean,
there
they're
can't
all
be
over.
many.
There's a lot of people here.
So all these filing cabinets? Have you ever
this is loaded?
Listen, have you ever gotten a tour of the Central Department of the NYPD? Have you ever seen the inside? You want to maybe get a tour?
No.
I'm keeping watch outside. If cops come, I'm gonna know. So
Why'd you
just
not get a-
FYI.
Why would you not get a tour? Why would you not want a tour? You can see hoodlums. You can see derelicts that we pick up. You know, you can see I've got a collection of blackjacks that I use. You know,
We cut to
You don't
Margot, who's now outside, and you see a police car rounding the corner and coming towards the building.
I open the door and just yell, "We gotta go now. We have to go." And
okay. Well, I hope you guys are happy. You fucked an investigation.
What?
So, tell them
What about that tour?
Well, you blew it.
And they come out, and the other guy like calls to the person typing like to come in the back office.
Yeah, you're under arrest. Once I leave, I'm gonna walk out, and I'm gonna come back, and you're under arrest. I hope you're happy.
now.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. Fucking shit.
Carter, you rush down the stairs, and you get outside, and the police car is starting to round the corner. And we'll pick
All right,
up
let's-
there after this break, real quick, to see what happens
God damn it.
to Margaret Carter. And we are back as the police car rounds the corner, and Carter just gets outside to Margot. We fade out of that scene, and we come back to the New York Public Library, where we now kind of slowly go down stacks and stacks of books until we see Vaughn and Feyruz in her element, sitting perhaps at a table. Was there just books that you've been pulling down from the shelves? What's going on here?
Feyruz, as we're like just generally glancing over the section and seeing if there are any other books by Nigel Blackwell, Feyruz also knowing, like, library being like her element, would know, she's keeping an eye out to see who's around and if there are any back rooms, staff only areas. So maybe like she could do like a spot hidden for something, that any areas that would contain books or rooms that weren't generally open to the public.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden as you're skulking about.
Yes. Because, we're at the part of this in, this series where we've seen a lot and just do crimes.
Sure.
It's fine.
Do crimes.
I rolled a 58 under 80.
Okay, regular success.
Yep.
This library is massive. So you're looking around. I mean, there are doors for sure. If you kind of stealth up to one and open it, sometimes it's a janitor's closet. Sometimes it's just like a room full of nonsense. You never really get the sense that you're near something that might have hidden stuff. Now you do come up against some locked doors here and there, but it's such a massive place, you don't get the sense that you'd be able to find anything particularly like secretive without knowing exactly where you were going.
Raspberries.
Raspberries.
Indeed.
Like finding a needle in a haystack, Vaughn.
Damned annoying that the library doesn't contain precisely the book you want. But can I maybe roll library use to see if we're getting any further info on either Nigel Blackwell or maybe books that reference Africa's dark sects?
For sure.
Or
both of you.
newspaper articles.
Yeah.
Both of you give a roll on that.
Cool.
Right.
All right.
Ooh. Yeah. Now we're talking. This is why we...
Regular success.
See, this is why we play role-playing games, so we can be really good at the library.
This is why we play. That's why we put on pads.
That's right, baby. I rolled a 2 under 31.
Woo!
Extreme
success.
I think this is Vaughn's. This is basically the long-distance tutelage that Elias was kind of like. They were like, I think, corresponding a lot about the occult and stuff. And Vaughn was maybe not as diligent a reader beforehand, but he's been burying himself in books in the intervening time between Peru and here, so he's a little bit more fastidious about it than he would be normally.
All right, so you start looking around, trying to find out any information about this book. You very quickly can tell, unless it's hidden somewhere, that they indeed do not have a copy of it here at the New York Public Library. They may have very well had one and had to have it handed over or destroyed. But you do find plenty of books that reference it and reference this Nigel Blackwell. He was an author, an anthropologist, and he had some other works that were basically forgotten, and you don't find any of those works here, and none of them really did that well. In fact, it appears that Africa's Dark Sects had a very limited publication run before it was banned, and it was banned as a part of the obscene, what is it called? The Obscene Publications Act that was passed. Actually, no, that's in 1959. Well, there was another act that was basically it happened in England where they banned a bunch of books, and this was one of the ones that was that didn't pass muster. So it was banned, and it appears that only like a dozen or so copies still exist, but they're almost all exclusively on the other side of the pond, with the exception being most likely this one that was in the Widener Library that mysteriously disappeared. In terms of subject matter, you are able to glean that it was like a travelogue of the author's travels across Africa, and perhaps dealt with his experience with cults out there. So it would make sense. This is what Elias was interested in. But what the specific subject matter of the book is, you're digging around and you just can't find it. And it makes sense. There's only so many copies of it. And it wasn't that popular.
Okay.
Is there... Oh, go ahead.
I mean, this isn't... Could that extreme success maybe spill over into learning more about the mark?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are there books on African folklore that we may be able to find those symbols in?
Like, we'd be looking in the same sorts of books that stuff might turn up, but especially if we've discerned that it's probably of Kenyan origin.
Yeah.
Be a little bit more precise.
I like that. I'll roll that over. So when you looked at it, the first thing that came to all of your minds, I think Margot was the first one that really got to study it, was like, oh, it looked like maybe a flower. And then when you looked at it, it reminded you of de Mendoza's mouth, that lamprey-like mouth. But then you're like, no, it's not quite that. I mean, maybe it is, but no, this is like a cult symbol that's Kenyan in origin. You find a name of a cult that originated in Kenya, known as the Bloody Tongue. And
Not to be confused with the librarian's tongue.
Heyo. You connect that symbol to this cult known as the Bloody Tongue. You see images that's like very eerily similar. Maybe not an exact replication, but eerily similar. Where you're like, okay, I see. I could see the connection here, but the ongoing existence of that cult is unclear. This seems to be an older cult. It operating in modern times doesn't seem believable, but then again, neither did what happened to you in Peru. So you can file that away. The Bloody Tongue.
Right.
Well? That's something, but as far as Mr. Blackwell's travel log seems to be at a dead end.
Yes. Seems the only copies that haven't vanished into the ether are back where I came from.
There must be another copy somewhere.
There must.
Has
So,
to be.
there must be a broker in rare and
Antiquities
banned
or-
tomes, antiquities,
Right.
and that specialize in catering to those with rarefied tastes. Yes.
Of course. I mean, just given the academic circles that I've seen in Miskatonic, that there would be great interest in such works as these. I find it hard to believe that these would be destroyed.
Yes. I mean, perhaps there's a bookseller we could reach out to here.
Must be. Some sort of dealer, or perhaps if it was confiscated, do you think the authorities might have it?
It is possible. But, I wouldn't want to be waltzing into the police after our little escapade last evening. In fact, I don't want to see the police ever again.
Nor do I.
And we fade out of that scene. And we come up back on Margot and Carter. What is the plan here?
Just act natural. Walk away from the building and turn a corner.
Okay, we're just gonna walk?
Yes, not run. I
Okay,
don't
all right,
think we want to run.
I really want to run. Like, with every fiber of my being. Okay. Okay, no, you want to walk? All right, that's fine. We did my thing, it didn't work. Let's do your thing. Let's walk.
And is your goal to sort of walk in the opposite direction slowly as this police car pulls up outside of the DMV?
Just like a pace, like we're New Yorkers trying to get somewhere, and then we're gonna turn the first alley, corner, sidewalk we see somewhere
just
else.
Loudly whistling.
One of you give me a stealth roll. What do you guys even have for stealth?
I've got 37. I tried training it, but didn't really get.
I got 60. I trained the bejesus out of it.
Okay, let's start with Margot. As
All
if
right.
this was a group stealth roll.
Come on. 80.
80. Okay. You can push it. Maybe you'll get close enough to spend some luck.
How did yours go?
I got an 11.
I'm gonna try pushing it again. Okay, come on. 40.
Okay, but you can spend luck to make it a regular success.
Okay, I must spend 3 luck to get 37.
Okay, so
And I got an extreme.
You got an extreme, slipping away from the cops. You do this for breakfast.
That's what I do, baby.
So you just you see an alleyway up ahead and you're like, I can slip in there. You slip in there, you turn around and Margot's not there. And you're like,
All right, Margot, this way. Just follow me. It's going to be... What? Margot!
Where did he go?
Margot, you're looking, you see the cop come out and kind of like eyeing up at the building and turns to look at you, and you then duck into the side alleyway with Carter.
Where did you go? Oh my gosh. It's so
I stealthed.
fast.
Why weren't you stealthing?
What is stealth?
It's, I don't know, think of a German word for disappearing into the vapor.
Yes, the vapor. Okay,
The vapor is
the
what I
vapor.
was. Did they see you? What's going on? Are they following you?
I don't think so. Maybe we should still continue walking.
Let's keep walking casually down this alley.
Yes.
You keep casually walking down this dark alley in the middle of the day.
You know what I do? Is there like a dumpster or something?
Sure.
Can I throw the badge.
The little, it says
I don't
little
want to get caught
deputy
with
on
that
it.
thing. Yeah. Fuck that thing. That didn't even help us.
Throw the badge in there. Did you guys have a plan on what you were going to do to meet up afterwards, after your individual journeys for the day?
Nothing that was discussed on this stream.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the realms of imagination.
Possibility.
Like meet up at a coffee shop somewhere in between both or something.
Let's
Yeah,
meet
you know,
at the ice skating rink in front of the big Rockefeller Center. Does that even exist?
We're both of us walking backwards, trying to like get away from where we are and bump into each other.
Right.
No, but I mean, you obviously, Vaughn and Feyruz went to the library. Margot and Carter went to the DMV. It was probably going to take about the same amount of time, although Vaughn and Feyruz were closer to the library from where they're staying at the Waldorf. But I would imagine there was a plan to either reconvene at the Waldorf or at the next place you wanted to visit. So I can hand wave that if you guys pre-decided.
Yeah.
What was the other? Oh, Sing. Were we going to try to go to Sing Sing?
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
All right, meet at Sing Sing Prison at 3 p.m.
That would require taking a train.
In that case, we would be meeting at the station at a certain point, I guess.
Okay, you can meet at Grand Central and hop on a train to Ossining.
So do all four... I'm down, by the way. Like, I want to get that out of the way. Do all four of us want to roll into this prison? I miss you guys,
Yeah,
so
why
my
not?
vote is yes, but...
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's time for chaos. Whatever's
Maybe
most
I'll-
It is time
chaotic,
for
we'll do it.
Maybe I'll stay outside. I feel like I'm just like a beacon
do-
of bad luck today, and
All four of us.
who knows?
No, Margot, you can't think that
Yeah.
way. You know, it's the accent. It can go so far.
I mean, Vaughn is all on a book hunt, so he could stay in the city and try to find an esoteric bookseller to see if he could find another lead on the missing book.
What other leads do you guys have here before we commit to all of you going or one of you going?
I can
We have
also...
the police station.
I could also break into this fucking DMV when they're closed
We could.
and go through the
kinda
records.
I kind of want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
Carter's especially pissed at these people that jacked him in his mind. He's like, I don't understand what happened. I charmed the shit out of that guy. You know, things were going great.
I don't know. I just think I pushed my luck a bit. Yeah, so there's the book, there's a prison, and there's anything else?
The only other information we got was that letter about Cairo and the Street of Jackals. We know
Right.
that Lieutenant Poole's on the case.
Yeah, we can just email that guy in Cairo. That'll be a quick turnaround.
Sure, yeah, we'll
We'll email him.
we'll set up a Google Meet with Warren.
It's called an elegant mail. It's just you write in a fancier script.
An
Oh,
elegant
yes.
mail. Oh, you
get
mean
my
an email?
Oh, an email.
I get my suits tailored at the email. Yes.
Yeah, that letter from M. Warren Bassart, you don't seem to
Not
have
really.
anything you can follow there.
It's also 6 years old.
Right.
It's also 6 years old.
also
The Miriam
that.
Atwright one is a little more recent, but you called and spoke to her.
Carter's gonna break into this DMV, and if someone wants to come with him, that's cool.
I will definitely come break into a DMV.
So we're
Yeah.
switching up teams here. Carter and Feyruz are going to wait until nightfall and break into the DMV, while Vaughn and Margot take a train to Ossining. Cut to the train. We see just an exterior shot of the train silently heading from the city into Westchester. It's about 30 miles north of New York. And then we see Sing Sing Prison. It's funny, when we were looking for houses in Westchester, we didn't know where we wanted to live. We were just like, we like some of these towns, but we don't really know the towns that well. And we were in Lake Placid at a brewery and talking to the woman, one of the owners. It was like a husband and wife, and we go to the same brewery every time we're out there. And we were like, we noticed the prices are pretty good in Ossining. And she's like, oh, you don't want to live there. The prison's there. It's like,
Oh,
fuck
okay.
that.
Loud and clear.
So when I saw Ossining in this story, I was like, that's pretty cool. So you get to Sing Sing Prison, and you just walk up to the front door.
Like we did not really.
You must answer 3 riddles.
There's a bridge and a moat.
The American system of justice is as much of a relic as I thought.
I joke, but I imagine it's all like how do we get in? You're not used to being around something like this, and you finally find like a visitor's entrance, and you open a door, and it's just a very, very small room with a kind of like a bank teller's window that you can see through, and there's an officer sitting on the other side of the desk. He doesn't even look up as you enter.
Great. Question: did we ever get a name of this alleged moiterer? Who was it?
It's in the article.
Hilton Adams.
Hilton
Adams. I knew I wrote that down somewhere. Did I do it? There. Great. Hilton Adams.
Founder of the Hilton Hotels. This is a thing that no
Yes.
one knew.
Oh.
Oddly enough, it was a
Fun
big scandal
fact.
when he was arrested.
Fun fact.
All right.
So he's just reading the paper, doing the crossword.
So, I mean, I'm sure on the train ride, Margot and Vaughn would have discussed their plan of action here. So, I don't know. Do you have any pitches?
I mean, why can't we just ask? We are visitors. Do we need
Sure.
a reason?
And then, and if they say no, I mean, I find that foreign charm gets you quite a long way in this rather provincial country. But failing that, is there perhaps another course of action we might undertake? Perhaps I could say that I'm offer my services to him as legal counsel.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if there's any sort of I have no sort of papers or method of proving that, so I suppose I'll have to rely on charm yet again.
The foreign students at the college, and we're writing an article about
True crime.
Yes,
Yes.
and these murders were just so, I don't know, sensational, and we would like to interview Hilton.
Yes, of course. You were an artist. Perhaps yes, of course.
I am here to sketch his portrait for the article.
See, this is why we brainstorm.
Yes, we are
no
so
bad
smart.
No bad ideas. And so I guess with that we approach this corrections officer
Margot
at the
just
desk.
really doesn't want to impersonate like someone high level and legal again.
Yeah, the CEO doesn't even look up. He's like, how can I help you?
You might be able to help us, old man, if you'd be so good as to provide us with some visitation with a gentleman who I believe is currently a tenant of this institution.
What's the
Mr.
name?
Hilton Adams. Adams.
Hilton Adams.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a letter of introduction, an appointment, any sort of credentials?
We are students writing an article.
Looks at the other cop.
And
Students.
yes. Foreign exchange students. And
Foreign exchange students, okay.
we would like to write an article about the Harlem murders, and who better to talk to than the perceived murderer himself.
Yes.
And I am here to do a portrait of him for the paper. Or, I mean, I do have my camera probably on me. Or just take a picture.
A collaborative thing, don't you know, between the universities of Cambridge, Frankfurt, and Harvard. At this point, I take out that little note folded so that just the seal of the Harvard letterhead is visible and flash it like credentials and then tuck it right back into my coat.
Yes, we are studying what goes on in the mind of the killers.
Yes. We believe that their analysis, the late and most recent tools of analysis of dreams, and we might be able to probe what makes a killer turn bad.
Yeah, they're foreign exchange students. They think they're gonna speak to this guy that's heading to Old Sparky. Talks to the other cop. Listen, I don't know who you guys are. This guy's on death row. We don't just let anybody come in and talk to him. Now, listen, if I thought you were maybe friends of his wife, which, sorry to say, you don't look like friends of his wife. That's one thing. Maybe you're with the reporter that comes here all the time from the Times. That doesn't look like that's the case either. But either way, if you're not with one of them, or you don't have any other credentials besides this Harvard letterhead, I can't let you in.
Well,
You don't know that we don't know his wife or that reporter. We
Yes, of
are
course.
students of reporting and the
hell are
written
you
word.
talking about?
And
You don't know. Because you
I
don't
get to roll
know.
a charm.
Listen, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but I don't think you're friends of his wife's. And if you're friends of what's the reporter's name comes here? Shosenberg. If you're friends of Shosenberg,
Yes,
then
we
come
speak to
here
him.
with her.
we speak to Ms. Shosenberg with great regularity. I'm surprised she didn't give you a letter of introduction for us. She swore blind that she would do such a thing.
Well, I didn't know they had a foreign exchange program with the New York Times. Man, wait, we should get a foreign exchange program here too, right? Yeah, I wouldn't mind a week off from being a CO. You guys could come do my job, and I'll go eat, what do they eat in Germany? Donuts? I'll go eat donuts in Germany.
I think they're making fun of us, Vaughn.
Wouldn't that be fun? And what this fucking guy? We'll drink some tea. You come back here and do paperwork all day. Tommy will go drink tea, and I'll go eat some German donuts. Get the fuck out of here unless you're coming with the reporter or with Mrs. Adams.
Well, gentlemen, it's been very, very charming meeting the both of you. With
Poor
that,
Vaughn, he's so sophisticated.
I bid you good day, sir. And I think maybe I'll just try to take that as like, damn it, should have, yes, rather foolish to think we could gain ingress to prison just by walking our way in.
Here's
It
the
seems
thing.
so obvious now that we should have
wait
reached
until
out.
nightfall and then break in.
Break in to the prison.
To the prison.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they sort of laughed you away. However, you did get some information. You get to know that his wife's been there visiting, and this reporter, Shosenberg, whose name you know, because she wrote the article of the Times that you read this morning. So,
Yeah, so I think she's our best contact if we want to pursue this angle.
unfortunately, you've wasted half the day taking this.
Yeah, we took the train
ride
all the
to
way out here,
Austin.
so but beautiful train ride.
Beautiful country. The next train heads back to New York at 7:30 p.m.
These fucking palookas just waiting to make fun of you.
We see nightfall as
Well, lovely little conversation with the Keystone Coppers, but what
That's
else
an
is there?
awful day.
you guys are just dejectedly getting back onto the 7:30 train, heading back into the city. But that's what investigating is sometimes. And then we cut to the person that was typing in the DMV is the last one out. You've been scoping that, watching them. Locks the door, checks it, and hops into her horse and rides it home to the Upper East Side. That's what they fucking had back then.
Alt history.
You like pan over and you see Feyruz has these binoculars and she has her hair like pulled back and tucked under like a newsboy hat. She's wearing like Katharine Hepburn pants.
But,
I know those Hepburn pants.
She's got a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. As like she's like looking through the door.
I pan over to Carter going, sorry.
You guys are just in this little park across the street from the DMV watching, and you see the last employee.
Oh man, I'm so
All right,
jacked.
Tillinghast. The last person has left the building.
It's been so long since I broke into a place. I'm so pumped. Yes. Oh, this is gonna
I've
be
only
great. I feel
broken
alive.
into my father's office.
All right. So listen, I'm gonna show you a couple pointers. Okay.
All right.
Here, follow me. You never want to go, like as we're crossing the street, Carter's like, you never want to go in the front door because that's the door everyone sees. So you want to come around the side here.
Right.
Stop me if I'm going too fast.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm following along.
All right, this is the kind of thing you don't learn in a library, sister, all right? This is the kind of thing you got to be out on the streets. You got to
I
you got to
have
roll up
broken
your
into
sleeves.
my father's office plenty of times.
Yeah, and that's really that's I think that's adorable. But this is the DMV, okay? This is the inaugural DMV. This is tighter than Fort Knox, I'm sure. Just go to
Well,
this.
at least now we don't have to wait in line.
Oh God,
She,
you
like,
don't know. I can't
Pulls
explain
out
to
a
you.
hairpin from her hair.
All right, now let's go. Let's see if we can find a side door here.
You can actually head down that same alley that you and Margot ducked into.
It's Allie.
You see a rat run by with that badge in its mouth.
That thing was made of chocolate this whole time. I had no idea. I got to talk to Lenny the fence.
You do see a back door leading into this building. There were other offices in this building as well, but there's a main door in the back that's padlocked.
Okay. All right. This is your standard S29 padlock. All right. Carter pulls out his little leather envelope foldy thing that he had last episode. If you haven't listened or watched it, check it out. Little plug. There were other. If you don't know, there were other episodes before this one. So I'd like to. Carter would like to locksmith this padlock.
Okay, give me a locksmith roll.
That's real bad. That didn't work.
Oh,
81 over 43. I feel like that snaps his thing in half.
No, but a fail on a pushed roll might, unless you let your friend Fairuz try.
All right, this is part of the job. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work the first fucking time.
right. Well, perhaps this needs a woman's touch. And she takes
all
his
right.
hairpin out of her hair and attempts to pick this lock.
You talk so much trash, and it's fun.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so this is the deal.
Under 23.
right,
so it's just a regular success.
Yeah,
oh, it's
so
a hard
Carter-
success.
That's a hard success.
So Carter's
hard
like,
success.
While you're like jiggling away, Carter's like, listen, don't feel bad when it doesn't work, okay? Everyone tries, everyone gets nervous the first time.
Click. It's super
What
fast.
did you say? Oh, cute, was it?
That's beginner's luck. That's
She
fine.
puts the pin back in her bun that she has pulled back, and she takes that lock off her door.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Why
that's,
don't you hold this?
yeah, that's fine. That's what I do. I hold doors for ladies. That's how I'm a gentleman.
Right. Shall we?
Yes, fine, whatever.
You hold the door for expert locksmith. Fairuz. And
It was one of the skills I worked on during
There you go.
the 4 years that we were
waiting
having
to use it.
Yeah.
You slide down the hallway. You're coming through the back. You see the staircase leading up. Same staircase you and
Can't help
Margot
myself.
took. And the door leading into the office, which is obviously locked again.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna do this
Would
one.
you like to try
No,
again?
I got it. This is what I do. The first one, it's because it's cold outside, and my hands were numb.
Oh.
I'm gonna
was
locksmith
cold.
this thing.
Perhaps your nana can knit you some mittens.
My nana died. Okay, just so you know. TB, thanks for bringing that up.
Tuberculosis.
I got an 88 over 43.
My nana died. Son of a.
You know what? You distracted me about the nana bullshit.
You're like heckling him as he's trying to do it.
All right, that's fine. Another one broken. Cool.
I'm gonna try to pick this lock.
It's not gonna work. It's fine.
You know she's gonna get it.
No, did not get it.
Yeah, okay. Talk a big game. This is the reality of lock breaking.
Who's gonna
Right,
push?
well,
One of us has to.
can I take a listen at the door and just...
Yeah, for sure. Just to be safe, you watch the final employee leave, but who knows? Maybe there's a night watchman.
Yeah.
It'd be a listen roll.
Do it.
Okie dokie. That is a 19 under 65. So that is... that's not an extreme, I don't think, but it is definitely
It's a hard
success.
Yeah, especially after the two of you have been fucking around with the doorknob. You listen and you don't hear any movement, so you feel pretty confident there's no one inside.
Now this door, is this one of those like, what's this door? Is there like a frosted glass kind of top side, like in the
Is this
noir?
like fitting in the door
Kind of door that would say
situation?
principal. Yeah, it
Exactly.
just says, it says
DMV.
Department of Motor Vehicles in
Yeah.
like a fancy script.
Yeah. Okay, so it's got a glass element to it.
Yep.
Okay, so this is.
But you
the deal.
could push the locksmith roll.
I did not. I rolled way too high. If
pushing
you
it.
push it, what is it? It's not like luck. If you push it, what does that mean?
So you push it, you
Remind
can
me.
describe what you're doing differently. And if you succeed, you succeed. If you fail, there's a negative consequence.
Is it a padlock or is it a doorknob lock?
This one's a doorknob lock, like a
Okay.
deadbolt.
So I think what I'm going to do, because this is different from the padlock, I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to readjust the hairpin, bend it back differently to adjust to this lock, and try it again.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Whatever you're doing, it's not. You bent it.
17.
That's fine.
Under 47. All right.
Yes.
Was that a hard success again?
No, it's a regular.
Regular success. On your pushed roll, you succeed and pop open the door.
That's
And you see
my
the office.
theory here is that this door was not locked. We should have just tried to open it.
I'm going to do you a favor, Tillinghast. And she takes out another hairpin from her. You should invest in some of these, and puts it in his hand.
All right, that's fine. That's all right. And he puts it in his leather, and you see him kind of turn away from it, whatever. And then he looks at it and he's like, God damn, this thing's awesome. Puts it in there.
Puts it in
Puts it in his
kit
little
of
in his
locksmiths.
kit.
You see inside, it's the same office as before. There's a desk sort of separating the back part of the office that you can either hop over, or there's a little door that you could push open to get behind it. And that's where all of them were with the back office. You saw the guy initially looking through a book that is still there. What do you do?
Carter hops over the desk instead of going through the thing.
Right. Dukes of Hazzards over the desk.
Okay. This is another important lesson, Feyruz, okay? This is Cat Burglar 101, okay? You gotta be live. You gotta be quick on your feet.
Acrobatics, is it?
Exactly, but nothing
what-
that
oh,
requires
I
a
want-
roll.
I'm just curious what my acrobatics would be if I could do a back handspring behind this thing.
Like Catherine Zeta-Jones and what is that?
Stepping around in there.
Yeah, what role would that be to try to attempt a back handspring over his scoot?
Oh, there's no athletics here. Yeah, what's fun? Jump? We already know your jump isn't that great.
My jump is probably really shitty. Where
I think
is
it's a
it?
20. Carter
You know
has it.
what? Let's give Tillinghast something to be proud of, because I know I'm gonna flub this roll. I'm gonna attempt a back handspring.
All right, so you try to look fancy.
Yeah, I'm trying to look fancy.
This Miskatonic
I rolled a
graduate
48.
So you guys are just trying to one up each other.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
and she totally biffs.
Oh, did that hurt?
And you see her just go, you just see her legs go up, and then she just stumbles over, and you just hear the sound of crashing behind the desk.
A couple of cast iron pans hit the floor.
Can't be perfect at everything there, Toots.
And then she just springs up. I'm fine.
All right, that's fine.
A couple of Keystone goofballs.
All right, come over here. Are you done? Come over here. There's this book. This is where this asshole was looking before fucked me over.
You were the one giving me a lesson.
Yeah, well, I didn't tell you to back handspring off of the desk.
I thought
That's not
it'd
a
be
cat
good
burglar thing. That's a nimble. That's a cricket burglar.
Cricket.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
another level.
Just
You're not there yet.
Fine.
All right.
What is it you want to show me?
You know it's a black 1915 Hudson Touring Roadster. You know the license plate is NYL and a number. Give me a library use roll, both of you.
Oh, God damn it.
Hey. Time to shine.
A lot of books here.
Lot of books. A lot of records.
I rolled a 44 under 50.
44 under 50. What about you, Carter?
I got a 56 over fucking something. 20.
Okay. You see license plate NYL 3, 4, 5, 6. NYL 7 is tied to a 1915 black Hudson.
Tillinghast. Here it is.
Owned by a man named Thomas Witherspoon. And then there is a note that looks freshly inscribed that says stolen.
Shit. Carter's just holding one of the other books upside down because he failed to roll. Like, none of this makes any goddamn sense. What'd you find? Oh.
As she turns it upside down, hands it back to him.
Well, I found records of the vehicle. There's good news and bad news. Which one do you want first?
The bad news sounds great.
Well, it's stolen, so I don't know who is actually driving the vehicle. But it belongs to a one Thomas Witherspoon.
Okay.
Is there an address that belongs in the records? Is there...
I don't know.
You succeeded enough that now you can start cross-referencing other filing cabinets, and you find a Thomas Witherspoon, and he lives up in Harlem, off of Lenox Avenue.
Sweet. I hear there's a renaissance going on there right now.
It sure is.
We could see if this Mr. Witherspoon recalls anything from being stolen. He might not have seen anything, but he might have seen something.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Let's shag ass out of here. And then Carter...
Shag ass? What does
you
that
heard
mean?
me. Carter goes over to the
Shag
desk.
some ass.
The desk of the guy who was talking to him.
Uh-huh.
Maybe there's a family portrait, or there's a picture, photograph or something. He just wants to vandalize this guy's desk. He wants to really fuck it up.
So it's him and his wife and 3 kids, and they're just smiling.
Carter gets a fountain pen. Carter gets a fountain pen and draws dicks all over it, and mustaches and some spectacles. Yeah, fuck this guy.
Just covered in
Urinate
dicks.
on his chair. He's going to hate that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I need you. Don't look though. I'm not gonna go.
All right,
if you-
fine. I'll turn around. I'll turn around.
Back in the
Tell me when to turn back around.
Back in the train, Vaughn's like, I'm sure that as fruitless as our search has proved, Tillinghast and Gibran are conducting their side of our little two-pronged attack with the utmost decorum.
Yes, they are very focused and criminal and searching. I guarantee they are just doing a good job getting in and out very quick.
Yes.
Yeah. And then cut back and Carter's like, this is cat burgling lesson 42. You leave your scent just like
Mr.
a cat.
Nice guy. Well, he's pissing on this photo.
You gotta tag things like a real cat.
Cat burglar. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's how it started. Originally, in medieval times, cat burglars pissed on everything. And then somehow that got lost.
I've underestimated you, Tillinghast.
Okay, I'm all done.
Story-wise, are you guys drunk? Did you go to a bar before you
Get to a speakeasy before you came to.
We were downing Bloody Marys since the morning, so I'm
Since
assuming that
10 a.m.
Yeah, a
God, it's all
man drifts
yellow.
by saying cocaine, ketamine.
There's just I think there's low-level drunk ever since Peru.
Yes.
All of them.
I'm gonna miss these characters when they start dying.
Never.
All right, so we fade out of there as Carter is pissing on a photo that has now got a ton of dicks drawn on it, and Feyruz is just like, this is hilarious. And we see Grand Central Station as Margot and Vaughn are getting out at like 8:45 at night. It's dark. Everything is closed. If they wanted to follow up on any other leads, you got a funeral tomorrow morning. Call it a night.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then what about Carter? Carter and Feyruz. What is your plan after
The mission
defacing
accomplished.
the
I mean, I
DMV?
say we go back to
Go to the bar.
let's go to Double V's pad and
Tell
chill.
us the story.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say you all convene at like a bar near the Waldorf. There's like an Irish. Oh no, there's no bar. It's right.
There's no bar.
know.
But there's
No
bar.
speakeasies. There's
Oh,
speakeasies.
history.
We find the bar.
There's speakeasies like in the basements of plenty of these places. More uptown than downtown, but like staying at the Waldorf.
Sure, the bellboy
Like-
could direct me to
But
some.
Carter's got criminal connections that
Yeah.
I'll exploit every single episode. And for right now, let's say it's to find a speakeasy.
Yeah.
So, like-
between your connections and a couple bucks, you can find something.
So like Vaughn and I are already there, and we're just kind of like huddled over our drinks, like murmuring to each other, what should we do tomorrow and the next day? I don't know. And I imagine you both walk in just like triumphant,
Just strutting.
right?
Here we are. Hail, hail the conquering heroes, what?
We
Guys.
found something.
We got a clue.
Well, you've got one over on us, Mr. Bronner, and that's for certain. Didn't find the concierges at Sing Sing none too compliant with our little request.
They didn't let you in the maximum security prison.
Yes, as it turns out, just walking in there without so much as a letter of introduction was rather a fool's errand.
In Germany, you can just walk into a prison, so
I
it's canon.
would just as easily as you could walk out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
But there is someone that perhaps we can question about the murders. The reporter whose beat it was, one Schossenberg, might be able to give us some information.
maybe a German.
Ooh,
You know.
Well, there's
Well,
a lead.
I showed Feyruz how to pick some locks. I think she learned a thing or two. And we
I
got
picked all the locks.
after I showed her how not to do it. And then we found with the car, we found it's not it was stolen. So we got a name of the owner. We can maybe hit up, find out.
Good. I don't know if he'd seen anything, or perhaps he hasn't seen anything, but it's worth a try to
Yeah.
see if.
Yeah. But more importantly, Feyruz told me to piss on that guy's desk, and I fucking pissed on that guy's
it.
desk. Yeah,
He urinated all over that man's desk.
Miterated
Cutter.
all over it.
Ah, yes, you were explaining the history of the cat burglar.
Exactly. Yeah, you see?
Yes! How does everybody know this except for me?
Very few people understand this. Most
Yeah.
people think it refers to agility. No.
trying to-
No,
phrase.
it's about tagging. Spraying, if you will.
Marking
Anyways.
your territory.
Yeah. Did you guys already drink, or what's going on?
Never stopped, old man.
Okay.
I'm also
Same
wondering,
here.
is it worth it to try to find this sister Carlisle, Erica?
Oh.
Mr. Carlisle.
Yeah, the one who led the search for her brother?
Maybe we can add that
Oh.
to the list.
Yes,
Yes,
of course. A society
absolutely.
type, I should think.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, we got a funeral
Good
tomorrow,
job.
so we should probably keep drinking.
Yeah, keep drinking. It's going to be such a drag.
Yeah.
Yes, I confess I'm rather dreading it.
So Jackson,
To Jackson.
Here, here.
Cheers.
You
Be
toast.
proud of us today.
You toast to Jackson. He would not. He would certainly would not.
no, we bumble fucked our way around that entire
He
investigation.
would be rolling over in his grave, but he has not yet been interred. But we fade out of there as you toast to poor Jackson Elias, who is regretting putting you for an nincompoop.
Hey, come on.
Come back to that, Troy. Come back to that face of his corpse, because I feel like it would be perfect right now. It's the expression that he has is just like,
can't.
oh, oh man.
Such
Find out who did
disappointment.
this.
These bozos.
We fade up on Cypress Hills Cemetery in Brooklyn on Saturday, January 17th. I close my eyes. The guy just finished playing Dust in the Wind by Kansas on a recorder.
Insane in the membrane.
Cypress Hill, yes, Cypress. Of course.
The ceremony is brief and non-dominational. It's rather poetic. It takes place during a light snow shower. Nothing too much that you're like, can this be over quickly? It's just, it's rather beautiful for such a somber moment. The turnout is small.
Is there anyone who looks like a sibling or a parent or a spouse?
No, it doesn't seem like he had any family. There's 2 other men there and a young woman. As the service continues, the priest says, "Is there anyone that would like to share a particular memory that you may have of Mr. Elias and his exploits?"
Fairuz pushes Tillinghast forward.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll save. Myself and my compatriots over here, these 3 jokers, we met Jackson a few years ago. Had the adventure of a lifetime, and he showed us that there's more to the world than just what's in front of our faces. And for me, he showed that there's more to life than just what I want. And there's the people in your life. And Carter kind of like looks over to the other 3 and he's like, they're the ones that keep you going. And I was excited to see Jackson again. Not just because he was going to take a look at my best-selling upcoming novel, Carter Tillinghast and Ventures of His Friends, or something like that. It keeps changing. But he was a good man, and he changed all our lives for the better, even if what he might have shown us wasn't the prettiest things on the face of the earth. So, thanks, Jackson.
While Carter is giving this speech, Fairuz will be looking around and gauging the facial expressions of each person, seeing if anything about Carter talking about adventures or something piqued somebody's interest.
Right when he says, we were adventuring with him, like both of the men like lean over to each other and whisper something to each other, wide-eyed. The other 2 men that are standing there.
And then looking around, are there any? Can we see the vehicles? Is this like an out? Are they too far from where we're all standing, or can we see if there's that car we were looking for?
Give me a spot hidden.
26 under 80.
All right, so you don't see that car in particular, but you do see several cars, and you do see more cars than the number of people at the funeral. And so you start looking around, and you do see there's another, like, almost like group of people kind of huddled together a respectable distance away. It's unclear if it doesn't seem like they're a part of this. There's no reason for them to be over there, but they do seem engaged with the ceremony.
Fairuz will look over at Margot, just make eye contact, and then point her eyes down at her camera, back up at her, and then over at those 2 gentlemen.
Yep, she signals, okay, got it. And tries to sneakily take a picture of the huddle of people.
Okay, so you snap some pictures of the group of people and the other attendees of the funeral as best you can, as slyly and stealthily as you can.
Maybe Carter sees that Margot's trying to surreptitiously take photos, and then it's just like, how do I say goodbye?
We really need you to make noise because the soft snow probably...
What we had. God damn. From a good time. And just,
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your stories.
I'll stop there. There's several more verses.
Quite a sonorous baritone you've got there, Tillinghast.
Just came out. Part of it is it bounces off the mask. Helps with acoustics.
The priest says, I'll leave you with these parting words. Although there are only a few of us here today, I'm sure you all know that Jackson Elias touched the lives of many during his time here on this earth, both through his work, which will live on forever, and also through his bright, adventurous spirit, which can never be extinguished. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
The priest bows his head and walks over to each of you and grasps your hands and solemnly, somberly looks each of you in the eyes and does the same to the young woman and the two men. And then he walks off in the direction of his car. As he does, the two men approach the four of you, and one of them is sort of like a 48 years old, short, squat, white guy, bald, with like curling grayish red hair. He's got some pince-nez glasses on that he's fiddling with as he walks over. The other guy is like a small, wiry African-American guy who is like... his hands are constantly moving, and he's looking all around. He's looking at that other group, and he's looking at this other gentleman. He's looking at the young girl. He's looking at you. His eyes are kind of darting around. He looks to be in maybe his mid-50s, and the young girl hangs back, and she can't be any older than like 19 or 20 years old. But the first guy comes up to you and says, "I couldn't help but over here. You were traveling with Jackson, or Mr. Elias, with Jackson. Where did you travel with him?"
Kind of looking around to each other. South America, mostly South America.
Peru. He looks at the guy, Carlton. These are the four that traveled with him to Peru. He said his adventures in Peru with the four of you, it changed his life. And if you knew Jackson, which I know that you did, that's saying a lot. This is just tragic what's happened. I'm sorry that we're meeting under these circumstances. Jackson spoke of you, didn't he, Carlton? And he looks at the other guy that he refers to as Carlton, and he's like, yes. Jackson always spoke of you. We've lost a great mind in Jackson, and I'm sorry. We should introduce ourselves. My name is Carlton Ramsey. I'm Jackson's lawyer. Well, I've been his lawyer for as long as he's been a professional writer, but I'm also his dear friend. We both are. This is Jonah. He's like, I'm sorry. I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Jonah Kensington. I work with Prospero House Publishers. I was Jackson's publisher, but like Carlton here, we were his friends. I don't want to say we were his only friends. because you four were also very important. But you know, he was, whenever he came to New York, we were his guys, and it's just tragic. It's just how are you guys doing?
It's been a lot to take in. I'm very sorry for your loss.
It's just terrible. I keep sitting in my office thinking he's gonna come bursting through the door with a big shit-eating grin on his face, ready to talk about a new adventure that he's getting locked into and how close he came to death yet again.
Yes, it's in few people I've encountered in this world in which there was such a potent mixture of courage and compassion as Mr. Elias.
It's a tragedy, I'll tell you. And what kind of sick people would do something like this? I mean, I haven't heard all the details, but what I've heard, I got some friends over in the 14th. Something's not right. I want you to come by my office this week. He came to me before all of this went down, and we chatted. It's a long story, but like, I want you to come by so we can talk if you can. Here's my card, and he hands you his card. Prospero House Publishing, Jonah Kensington, Lexington Avenue. Come by, let's talk. I don't want to do it here, especially with all of them. And he points in the direction of that group, and that group is like moving closer and closer now that the priest has walked away.
And who are they, Mr. Kensington?
Vultures, that's what they are. And the other guy speaks up. He's like, what Mr. Kensington means is they're reporters. They're here to further their careers with a story, and it won't be long before they're on us. But I too would like to speak with you. Mr. Ramsey named all of you in his will, and we're going to be doing the... I can't believe it. I can't believe that this is actually happening, but we're going to be doing the will reading Monday at my office. This is my niece, Willa. And he introduces his niece. This is my niece, Willa. She works for me as well. I would love it if you could attend. Willa can give you the directions, but it's important that we speak. He specifically mentioned all of you, and I think there are some things you should know.
Yeah, we definitely want to know what he was currently up to, because something's up.
Certainly.
Yeah, I don't want to speak. And before he can even say anything, like, they have now started to send on you. Excuse me, how did you know, Mr. Elias? Pardon me, aren't you his lawyer? Mr. Kensington, is Prospero House going to release a book on this? And you're just getting like, now it's they've descended upon you. Once one spoke up, they all start talking over each other.
Feyruz starts bawling her eyes out and just like inconsolable, so that she could just peace out.
What about the rest of you?
Try to follow suit with that. Probably very overwhelmed. I mean, like, I feel like I'm also maybe looking out to see if there's a woman there, if Rebecca Schazenberg is here.
Is there a woman or women among the journos?
Let's go. I'm just crushing it today. 82 over 62. I don't see shit.
You're looking, I mean, there are men and women. No one's really jumping out at you.
I also had this thought. Can I try also?
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
End of campaign.
Unfair.
You lose.
No dice, buddy. All right. Okay, that's more like it. I rolled a 21 under 75.
All right, so you look, and yeah, you get the same idea as Margot. All that time spent on the train, maybe you were talking about, like, we gotta find out about this reporter. So it dawns on you, maybe this Schazenberg is here. And you see a couple women, but they're all kind of like this. And then there's one woman, small, dark complexioned, black hair, kind of separate from the crowd, like she's not approaching. And you lock eyes with her, and she looks at you, and she kind of gestures like, can we talk?
And I glance over at Margot, like, yeah,
We make the nods.
And I'm like, and I walk through, excuse me. Fucking carrion birds. As we get it through the...
Taking pictures. And she's like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I'm sorry you have to deal with all of this. I'll admit I am a reporter as well, but I'm not here for a story. I think I may be of help. My name's Rebecca Schosenberg. I write for the New York Times. I actually wrote about Mr. Elias's death. And she looks around, just making sure that everyone else is too busy. Kensington and Ramsey, they're old hands at dealing with the press, so they're just kind of walking away, walking towards their cars, and some of the reporters are going with them, but the other ones are hounding Carter and even Feyruz a little bit, even though Feyruz is kind of splitting off and sobbing. And she's like, I also wrote about the Hilton Adams murders. Anyways, here's my card. This isn't the time nor the place, but I would love to talk to you and your friends a little further about this. I truly think I can be of help. She hands you her card. Rebecca Schosenberg, reporter, New York Times, offices on West 43rd Street. And then she just bows her head, and she's very serious. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And she turns and scurries off. And
We'll be in touch.
Turn back to Carter, who's now getting bombarded. Carter, do you enjoy this at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. Carter's trying to he puts his arm around Feyruz. He's like, she's just so upset because she didn't know how to pick locks until yesterday when I showed her. So as you can see, it's just inconsolable.
And she's
Carter
wailing. She takes mittens that she's drying her eyes with and shoves them in his chest.
But the name is Carter Tillinghast. Keep an eye out for my published works. My folio, really, is what it is. The Adventures of Carter Tillinghast and his pals. Coming soon, once I find a publisher. Thank you so much. No more questions at this time.
Guy comes up and says, Carter Tillinghast, you said, huh? And Feyruz, you turn and you see Carter is chatting with these guys, and you see this guy step up, and he looks so familiar to you immediately, but you're like, how do I fucking know this guy? You can't quite place you. Then maybe you walk a little closer to get an earshot, and it hits you right when he opens his mouth. And he's like, Mr. Tillinghast, I'm Lieutenant Martin Poole from the NYPD. I want you, points at Feyruz, you, points at Vaughn, you, and points at Margot, you, to come with me immediately. And we'll see you next week.
Oh my God. You're sitting there broadcasting your name, picking locks.
Just having a ball. Just having a ball.
Just having a ball.
Life of Riley.
I knew that would push the plot
Consequences,
forward.
schmonsequences.
You're going downtown!
Book 'em.
Got him, boy.
These birds flew the coop.